Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
In the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Merciful, the Supplication of Dhun Nun, Prophet Yunus Part 5. The outer meaning of Surah Al-Anbiya 21:87. Surah Al-Anbiya 21:87 says, and mentions Dhun Nun when he went off in anger and thought that we would not constrain him, but he cried out in the darkness.
لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين.
There is no deity except you. You are free from all imperfection. Indeed, I was of the wrongdoers. Dhun Nun, the man of the fish, refers to Prophet Yunus, may peace be upon him. When his people rejected his message, he departed prematurely, without divine instruction to do so. This led to his being swallowed by a whale, a trial from God. In the utter darkness of that situation, Yunus made this supplication and lessons to be learnt, of Tawba, admit one's shortcoming, and a return to one's original purity, istighfar, seeking forgiveness for disobedience, Tazkiya Qur'an 91:9. He has succeeded who purifies its soul. Sabr 68:48. So be patient with the decree of your Lord, and do not be like the companion of the whale. Sukr, gratitude of the presence of a living guide. Zikr, constant remembrance from deviation from one's faith. The storm, the short straw and the surrender, the exoteric event and its esoteric truth. As Prophet Yunus, may peace be upon him, fled in the ship, a violent storm arose, threatening to capsize the boat. The crew, believing someone on board, had angered the divine, cast lots to determine who was responsible. The lot fell upon Yunus, in other words, he drew the short straw. His name emerged repeatedly, though the sailors resisted throwing him into the sea. Seeing him as a righteous man, the repetition of his name convinced them it was fate. Yunus himself recognized it as a decree from God, and so, in surrender, he cast himself into the stormy sea. Once in the waters, a great fish swallowed him, signifying the transition from outer trial to inner transformation. This story, like all stories in the Qur'an, is not only a historical account, but also a timeless teaching. Exoterically, it is about a prophet in a storm, but the real truth lies in its esoteric meaning. The storm is the turmoil of the soul. The short straw is not mere chance. It is the hidden will of God selecting the soul that must undergo purification. Being thrown into the sea represents the collapse of the ego before divine decree, and being swallowed by the whale is the beginning of the soul's spiritual rebirth. Thus, the Qur'an teaches by story on the outside, but unveils the hidden truth to those who seek its inner light. The esoteric dimension of Nun, the inkpot and the pen, universal soul and intellect. The Qur'an mentions Nun in two places, in Surah Al-Anbiya 21:87, Dhun Nun, the man of the whale, and in Surah Al-Kalam 68:1, Nun, wal kalam wama, yastarun, by the pen and what they write. In the world of spiritual symbolism, Nun can signify the inkpot from which the pen writes. The inkpot represents the universal soul, the vast receptacle of divine manifestation. The pen represents the universal intellect, the first and highest creation, the source of all knowledge. This pen is in the higher I. It is God's possession. It is a light and an angel, which is why it continues to write by God's command. It is also said that the likeness is to the blessed mouth of the Imam, which is meant the inkpot of wisdom, and by the light of intellect is meant his speech. The whale, and the ocean of knowledge, universal soul. as whale universal intellect, as ocean. Where the universal soul is likened to a whale, the universal intellect is likened to the ocean in which all is immersed. The entire outer universe is contained within the great ocean of the soul, and the ocean of the soul is contained within the ocean of the intellect, beyond which there is nothing but God's essence. The whale that swallowed Yunus is not only a sea creature in history, but also a mighty spiritual reality, the most powerful soul in his own inner world. Being swallowed means being fully enveloped and overwhelmed by a spiritual trial of the highest degree. In this darkness, Yunus turned to God with full sincerity, his ego dissolved, and his heart surrendered completely. There is no God except you. You are free from any attribute. Verily, I am one of the wrongdoers.
لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين.
Continue your journey beyond the storm into the hidden light of your soul. Subscribe and click the bell icon to continue the journey of the soul through trial.